Good afternoon, friends. Welcome back to the channel. Hitch and Yeti here once again, and today is an awesome day because I'm at the Henry River Mill Village. This is the site, the filming location for a very popular movie you might have heard of. It's called The Hunger Games, and this was District 12 in the movie. So I'm really excited about this, just being here. And a lot of cool stuff going on here is this place was actually built in 1905. And it was an old mill village. They actually used to make yarn here. So I'm really happy to be here today. And I have paid my admission of $18 to come here to this site and walk the grounds and look at some of these old abandoned buildings and just check this place out. And I thought it'd be a great opportunity to make a vlog and bring you nice people with me, and we can kind of investigate. So let's go do it. So right here is the old road that winds down through the village. And this is the entrance if you're interested in coming here and taking a tour or walking the grounds. You actually pay for right here this cargo container. It's like a little office in there, and that's where you buy your tickets. Have a little welcome sign out here. And I've already went inside and paid my money, and they give you this map. And the map's pretty cool. Shows you right here the gift shop. This is where we are, and it shows you, like, you see these little purple like movie cameras. That's areas that was actually filmed in the Hunger Games. It actually has a little notation up here. It says HG, which is Hunger Games filming location. So I thought that was pretty cool. So right now I'm kind of waiting on my turn for my guided tour by a guide that's here, which I'm not allowed to document that guide itself, but he's going to give me some information, and then he's going to cut me loose and kind of let me walk the grounds here and check out all these old mill homes and just check everything out. He said everything's pretty much free to go. You can go wherever. He asked me not to go inside some of the structures because of just how unsound and, you know, maybe not safe it would be. So I'm going to definitely adhere to that. But there is some of the ones, I think this one here is house 16. I think I'm allowed to go in that one and kind of look at that, and that was one of the houses that they used for Hunger Games. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I will say one thing: there's posted signs everywhere down here at the Henry River Mill Village, and so if you do come down here, just be respectful. Definitely come down here and buy your ticket and just pay to go walk through. This is a non-profit organization, so they're not making any money off of it. It's all for upkeep and things of that nature. So you know, these old places like this, I think there's like over 70 acres of things to see here in a little town, like in this little town. So there's a lot of upkeep to go on to make sure things don't just fall in. And it also helps keep vandals away, because you know how people love spray cans. And right here on the side of this old store here in the village, we have some signage. It says the historic Henry River Mill Village, film location of District 12 in the Hunger Games movie. So right here is the front of the store here, or the bakery. It says pastries and cakes on some of the signage. This is also an area that has one of these little purple cameras on the map here. So I've never seen Hunger Games, but obviously this here must be one of the places where they done some filming. So if you're a fan of the movie, I'm sure by looking at this building you have seen this before if it's in the film. I couldn't help but to notice right here next to the bakery, they have quite the assortment of mushrooms out here in the yard. All right, friends, I just finished my little tour with my guide over here to give me a little bit of history and backstory about the Henry River Mill Village. So now I'm going to go to the top of the hill. I'm going to start at house 1 up there and just kind of work my way down through this village to kind of show you as much as I can. So and give you a little bit of facts along the way. So now we got us this hill we have to traverse, and I'm telling you one thing, that's pretty steep. So I'm gonna cut the camera off for a minute and just go ahead and hike to the top, and then I'll turn it back on, and then we'll make our way back down through the village till we get all the way down to the mill itself at the water's edge. So I finally made it up here to the top of the hill, and this here is house number 1. As all those people are going down that gargantuan hill I just traversed. Kind of take a look around here a little bit. So here we are, we kind of peek in and take a look around. Let's see what the inside of this house number 1 looked like. A lot of vines and stuff growing out here. But you can kind of look around in there and take a look what it looks like. There's an old fireplace right there. It looked like it just, the hearth kind of come off the wall there. So just to give you a little run around facts about this place, he was talking about this place actually opened, the mill opened in 1905, and it ran for like over 70 years, and it was a very successful yarn mill. They made yarn here, and all these homes, I think he said there was 35 homes, which I think right now there's only about 32 of them that are still standing. And I think I believe he told me one of the homes were actually blown up or burnt during the filming of the Hunger Games. And that was part of the reason why the second Hunger Game movie was never filmed here, because they did not get permission to destroy one of the homes during shooting of the movie. And it was almost kind of like, I guess the movie producers or director thought that it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission, and so they just did it for the shot of the movie. And it kind of ticked off the owner at the time, and that's the reason Hunger Games 2 was not filmed here on property. Thought that was a kind of a cool little fun fact. So here we are at house number 1, and they have a little paved pathway we're going to follow down the hill here. And this here is house number 2. And I think something else he told me in some of the history here is they had their own currency down here for quite a while. But back in the 20s and 30s, up until the 40s, until World War II anyway, they had their own currency. And the owners would actually encourage the people that worked here and lived here in the mill to be paid in that currency. And I think it kind of was a way for control where they didn't have to pay them real money, you know, so that was one thing about it. But their currency actually went away during the World War II when that happened, because then the United States government started asking everybody to donate all your metals. So right up there is house number 1. We walked down this pathway here, and this is house number 2. And so when this mill started in 1905, they said they had about 70 good years of production out of the mill. It was very successful. And most of these homes were duplexes. 2 families lived in them and just kind of shared the workload. And back in the early days, there were no labor laws, so kids as young as 8 years old was working with mom and dad, you know, 6 days a week, you know, 12, 15 hours a day. Just to think about that. And once enough families got into these homes, he did tell me they built a school at one point, but unfortunately the school has burned down. It's no longer here on property. Along with the mill, it also burned down too via a lightning strike, supposedly. But that's kind of a hearsay thing. People say it was a lightning strike. Other people, he seemed to think it was insurance reasons or purposes or things like that. So right down here is house number 3. See if we can peek through a window or 2 around here. I'm really keeping my eyes open for some snakes, because it's quite warm today and I can see them definitely moving. So we venture around to the front. So we'll have quite a bit of vines, a lot of overgrowth here in the area. So as we come around the back side of house 20 here, we can have us an old outhouse right here in front of us. Then we got this old back porch. Kind of peek inside and look at the old cabinets over there. There's like an old potbelly stove, might have sat there at one time. This kitchen. And I definitely will not be stepping foot on that stuff. As you can see, this structure is already hanging down quite a lot and broken up. Not a lot of safety. Other people have definitely been going in and out there, but I'm not going to do it. Yeah. Stuff's just so old. But this is all going to change. The new owners are going to make sure this place gets restored. It's like an old chair right there. I bet that thing had padding on it and everything at one time, but now it's just kind of rusted away. Not a whole lot to see. All these cinder blocks right here that's been kind of caved away, chipped away over time. I mean, you can really see underneath there. Wow. These old cans. Look at that. And oh, by the way, that can I just found beneath that old house was a Pabst Blue Ribbon. Overhang has quite a bit of greenery and growth coming off the edges of it. Walk down here and see what we can see inside this window. There's another fireplace. That's pretty cool. This house right here across the way, he had a little bit of a story to that one. There was actually a woman that's still alive to this day was actually born in that house. And he said maybe about a year or so ago, they a news crew came here and did a piece on the mill. And they interviewed her. And he said that was pretty cool because she grew up in the house. She came down here and she like told her all these stories, what it was like growing up here in the mill, living in that home back in those times. So here I am on the back side of house 17. And right here it has a little outhouse next to it as we're working our way down. And house 17 has quite a bit of growth on the front of it. I mean, it's got trees growing up through the front porch. Walk over here and take a look around. Now the front porch here is a little bit different because it's like a paved, like, you know, patio area. There's some old cabinets. Doors still on their hinges after all these years. Here's your couch. I'm sure that wasn't original. Had their fireplace there. And then that was the other family. I guess they lived on that side. Because he said all these were like duplexes. He said house 16 is not a duplex because the movie company, the production company, when they came in, they gutted it and kind of made it what they wanted it to be for the movie. So when we walk inside of it, you will see that it's just, you know, very spacious, a lot of room, you know, because one half of the house was pretty much all cameras and people and directors and lights, I'm sure. And the other side of the house was actually the living space. So it looks like, you know, it looks like a more living room than you really would have had if you would have lived here back in those days. So we're gonna walk down these steps. So here we are walking into house number 16, where all the interior shooting in the District 12 area, this is all the home shots, was done right in here. And the nice man who was taking me on my tour, he said all these homes are pretty much duplexes. And he said that this home, the main wall that used to divide the home up, was right here. This is where the wall used to be. You can follow it in the ceiling right down this way. And they just knocked all that out and turned it into a much more spacious roomy place. You know, right there's a bedroom, which he said the bedroom was not there. That was like a kitchen area. And then you have your steps over here that led up stairs to a loft. And that's where your actually bedroom would have been. And on this side, it was pretty much mirrored. Instead of having this window, you had a doorway that would come in, and then they would have been steps back here in this corner, which the production company came in and removed them. You can kind of see the discoloration of the wall right there, where it's like really white on the left side and this side's kind of dingy. This is where the steps used to be. That's why it's a little darker right there. But they changed all that back here in this corner, so the steps are no longer there. And that's the way they had to make it for their movie, because all their camera equipment sit over here on this wall back here in this corner. And then they've done all their filming, you know, able to pan and give you more roomy shots like this. So I thought that was pretty cool information by the the guide here. I thought that was kind of cool, because I did not know that. And unless you was a huge Hunger Game fan, you probably ain't even going to recognize it. I wouldn't have. But I wanted to share that with you. I thought that was some pretty good information. So let's move on to something else. So now that we've seen House 16, we're going to head on down the walkway here and get a little bit deeper down toward the old mill area. Pass by some of these old cottages. So here we go. This is what the cottage looks like. The bed and breakfast here at the Henry River Mill Village. Ain't that something? So this is the future of what they want to do with all these cottages down through here in this village. They want to turn them into structures like this and have little bed and breakfast. And then the brick building up there, that's the bakery. And that's going to be like a little restaurant. So I just think this is a very interesting idea. I hope it works out for them. I don't know how well this is going to work out, but it's a dream. And anytime you have a dream, why not? You know, go for it. Look at this. Art. It's like shovels. So that's interesting. Right here next to the house that they renovated, have this little archway here. And I wonder if that's where they have weddings, because the gentleman up there, when he was telling me about this place, he said they actually have weddings here. And they have all kind of events here on property. They watch movies. They have like movie nights. And I don't know if they just showed the Hunger Games. He really didn't elaborate very much on that, but how cool would that be to watch the first Hunger Game movies here on property, knowing this is where some of them were filmed. Some of the scenes were filmed. And look at this old place down here, how grew up this is. Not really sure what that is. This might be the old building where they used to bring the cotton in. He said the cotton would come in via the train track, you know, like not too far from here, like 2 or 3 miles up the road. And then they would bring that material down here, and then they would feed it into their mill, and that's how they would make their yarn. So maybe that's what that used to be, because the mill itself, you know, was hit by lightning and ended up burning down. So it's no longer here, nor is the school. But the thing I want to see next, I want to see the dam. I want to see where the mill used to set. I want to see that area. He said it's a little overgrown, but not too bad. So, and right here is some old steps. We've got an old structure right here. I don't know what this used to be. I wish man, it'd be so cool if they would have had some of this stuff like labeled with some signage of like what used to set here. Was this where the mill used to set, or was this where the school that he was talking about used to set? You know, the foundation is still here, but the structure itself is burned down, gone. Both of them burned, so maybe it was one or the other. Not really sure. All right, we have found us a little walkway. I'm gonna go look up in there a little bit. Hopefully we don't run into no kind of Smokey the Bear or any kind of animals or anything back in here. It's very quiet back here, Grasshopper. Very quiet, my friend. I was up there looking around, and I think I spooked something. And I'm not going to say if it spooked me and that's the reason I'm walking this way. I'm not running, but I am walking this way. It's like, okay, there's something there. There's some animal or varmint. And more than likely, it's got teeth. So we're going to peruse our way on down through here. And I hear water. That's a good thing. So maybe we're getting closer to the dam. It's got to be downhill. Anytime you go down here, you're going to run in the water eventually. I learned that from Bear Grylls. So let's see if we can get down there and check this out a little bit better. Look here, everyone. We made it to these steps. And I mean, these things are steep. All right, we did it. Are you kidding me? Heck yeah, man, this is awesome. Woo! Oh man, we made it down here. That was some thick brush. But this is it. This is the old mill. This is the old dam. Look at that. It is hot out here, man. But you know what? It was worth it. How cool is this? I mean, it is just so... The vegetation and the foliage down here is just so thick. I mean, check this out. Look at that view. Woo, that make you queasy. We're up here. That is just too cool. That was awesome. Thanks for sticking this one out with me. You made it this far in the video. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So, we made it down here to the dam. It was worth it. This is so awesome to come out here and see this. But now, here's the downside to it. We have to go back down these steps all the way down there. So let's be careful and hold on to this rail very nicely and make it safely. And I'll be honest with you, these steps are not in great condition. They're not crumbling, but they're unlevel where they have some of them chipped off over time. Things like that. We just go through the greenery here like we're in the outback. Alright. It's not too bad. That was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. That was a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Because old Yeti here did. Alright. Go up. Just keep going uphill. Everything looks the same down here in all this greenery. So we're just going to keep making our way. Tell you one thing. I get out here today. Oh, Yeti might be deserving of a hot fudge sundae. some ice cream or something. I mean, what the heckums? It's a lot of work on a good North Carolina 90-degree day. All right, we made it. The only downside is we still have a lot of a hill to climb to get back up to the top. And we'll go take a look at the parking lot area, and then maybe we'll wrap this old bad boy up. And we are back at the top of the hill. This feels so nice. Look at this shade right here I'm about to step into. Oh, it feels so good. Right here in front of me is the bakery that was in the Hunger Game movie. This building will be transformed into a restaurant in the future, they said. So if you're staying at a bed and breakfast here, this is where you will come and eat if you don't want to cook for yourself in your bed and breakfast room. So I think that's pretty cool. So that's all I had today. I had a great time out today exploring the property here. A lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I know some of you like abandoned places and a little bit of history, and I hope this kind of filled all that in for you and kind of helped you out. It was really cool being here today. So all right, friends, that will pretty much do it for us today here at the Henry River Mill Village. And I must say, I had a great time today walking this property, learning a little bit about the history and learning a little bit about what the future holds for this old place. So that'll pretty much do it. If you're new to the channel, please think about subscribing. If you like today's content, please give it a thumbs up. Have any comments, just put it down below. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, I'm the Hitchhiking Yeti, and I will see you friends in our next adventure. Everyone stay safe.